if there was a fight, if there was a battle, so to speak, between Elon and George Soros, who would win, do you think? I mean, not just not physical, but who would win in terms of importance? I submit to you, dear friend, that one of the biggest frauds going on is this idea of George Soros being what George Soros thinks he is and what you think George Soros is. George Soros is not what George Soros used to be or is. This I promise you. This I absolutely promise you. And I'm also getting the impression that maybe, just maybe, Elon Musk either is on his way out, or he's backing off, or he's getting bored, or he wants to do something else, or I don't know what. But we went from seeing him all the time, along with his son, every minute of the day, to this. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting how this thing works? I find it completely and totally fascinating, my friends. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about this hands-off and how you were supposed to be thinking, and how so many friends of ours in the financial biz, we got one who's a kind of a hedge funder and the like, and they're saying, yeah, these are tough times, but does everybody agree that tariffs are wrong? The fact that we're being tariffed? Well, how do you fight that? Please don't do that, please. Or do you say, I'm going to tariff your ass right back. I'm going to reciprocally tariff you. That's the question. Who's right? Who's wrong? What are we talking about? That's the issue, my friend. That's the issue, and that's what we're talking about. That's simple. That's it. We're also going to be talking about that hands-off nonsense, and also kind of the way you should be thinking about what's going on in the world, because I find this to be utterly and totally fascinating. Also, I've got a great video dropping later this eve with Mrs. L and me. It's a barn burner. And another one just dropped on the Lionel Nation. No, that's his Lionel Nation. Lionel Legal channel. Oh my God, what a time we are having. We are back to normal, back to fun, back to basics, back to the basics of love, ladies and gentlemen. Lukenbach, Texas. So let us remind you that please remember to ensure that you are subscribed here, that you like this video. You know the routine. Everybody tells you that, but it's for a good reason. It's for a great reason. And before we begin, this incredible word from this incredible sponsor, this incredible patriot, this incredible man who has been with us since day one, and we will never let him down. You know, when it comes to comfort, support, and a good night's sleep, my friends, MyPillow has revolutionized the way millions of Americans rest their heads with unmatched quality, cutting-edge design, and a commitment to American-made excellence. MyPillow has become a household name. And now with MyPillow.com/Lionel, or using the promo code Lionel, you can unlock exclusive discounts and deals that bring comfort and savings right to your doorstep. That's right, my friend. Mike Lindell and the team in MyPillow aren't just selling pillows. They're on a mission to transform the sleep experience with a wide variety of products beyond their signature pillows. Whether you're looking for supportive adjustable pillows, luxurious Giza dream sheets, cozy towel, mattress toppers that cradle your body in comfort, MyPillow offers it all. And with their 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty, you can be confident that MyPillow stands behind every product they sell. Now, why MyPillow stands out? Let me tell you, unlike generic pillows you grab off a department store shelf, MyPillow is customizable and engineered to cater to different sleep styles. Whether you're a side sleeper or a back sleeper or a stomach sleeper, their patented interlocking fill technology adjusts to your specific comfort needs, keeping your neck and spine properly aligned throughout the night. No more waking up with that sore neck, no more tossing and turning, just the restful, rejuvenating, and exhilarating sleep that you deserve. And it doesn't stop at pillows. MyPillow's Giza Dream Sheets, made from the finest Egyptian cotton, offer a smooth, breathable, and luxurious feel, turning your bed into a sleep heaven. So right now, my friends, do the right thing. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. It's easy for me to say, MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. Simply the best. Trust me. My friends, let's talk about what we know. what do we really know here? And let's look at this very, very carefully. And let's not extract. I love when people say, throw Soros in jail. For what? Because he's a, well, what did he do? I don't know, but God damn it, he threw him away. Well, okay, fine. That may make sense to you, but I think we need some kind of an actionable charge. I think he's a complete and total fraud. I think it's not his money that's behind this. I think he loves being the pretend boogeyman. So we're going to be talking about tonight the notion of Elon Musk versus, in a sense, George Soros. This is a battle of influence America can no longer ignore. Are you with me? Who's with me on this one? Are you with me? Elon Musk is poised, and if he hasn't already, to absolutely obliterate George Soros in a head-to-head battle for influence, for reach, and for relevance. You can't compare the two. This is a tech visionary, an unapologetic disruptor who is not just wealthier in real terms, but far more connected to real world infrastructure and platforms and that which shapes public opinion, economic behavior, and what I'm interested in, technological advancement. It's like in the old days. Remember, around the turn of the 20th century, the barons, when we were in one time in Newport, look at all these, the mansions, and they were the folks who were a part of the during the Gilded Age, but they were robber barons, but they were into gold mines and copper and lumber and railroads and they built things and factories. And today, it's a different story. The wealth that we have today is it's not only is it more, but it affects everything from Neuralink to space travel to AI. Have you even gotten close to ChatGPT? Have you even gotten anywhere near this? This is it's mild. It's going to change everything. Teachers, you're not going to need anything you need in terms of tutors or medical. You're going to upload a picture of your rash, tells you what it is. Anyway. And what does Soros do? What did he make? He shorts the pound. What does he do? Musk owns the digital megaphone. Soros owns a decaying Rolodex, of I guess activist funding and backroom influence. It's a different world. Klaus Schwab is more, he stepped down, is more relevant to an extent. Soros is not the omnipotent kingmaker the media prop him up to be. They want you to believe. He wants you to believe that. Much of his perceived financial and money clout doesn't really come directly from personal fortune, but it's channeled through a complex, listen to me, a complex web of contributions and grants and organizations and USAID stuff that include foreign aid pipelines, taxpayer dollars, institutional money. See, the so-called philanthropy of Soros is bullshit. It's often just kind of like laundering influence through international NGOs and U.S.-based policy outfits that receive funding from State Department programs and EU allies and multilateral foundations. He's almost like the front man. He's the money man. He's the theoretical. He's the big shot of this. Do you hear what I'm saying? But by contrast, Elon Musk, oh my God, building tangible systems, Starlink satellites that control internet access, electric cars, transforming transportation. Let me explain something to you. When we have a system where one day we can say, here's a car, and it's got a battery, and it doesn't cost more than the car, and you could just kind of plug it up, or maybe a hybrid that kind of charges during the day or something. I got no problem. I got no problem with that at all. None. I don't care if it's a gas. It might be nostalgia. I don't care if I push the thing and it goes. What do I care? If I don't have to go to a gas, I'm all for it. But so far, they haven't been able to do that. So far, it's been a problem. So far, you got to find the plugs, and if it rains, and if there's torrential this. But I have no problem with the notion of electric. None. Who does? Who does? If you really had, if something really worked, if autonomous really worked, and it could benefit things, and this is terrible for our good friends like Big Dick from Chi-Town, but if you had trucks that went 24 hours, everything was here faster, where you didn't have to worry about anything, where autonomous really was safer, better, do I really care about that? No. The notion of a drone, wouldn't you like to have, if we put all of our money, let's put our money in drone technology, not fighter pilots. What do we need an F-47 for? Why? What's the point of that? So again, I have no problem with the concept of it. And the only way we're going to get that concept is not going to be through Soros, but with Musk. Look at what X has done. X is the greatest. I love it. It's like nothing else. I use my ChatGPT and Grok to do Google. I use my X. That's what I want to find out. What's going on? What's trending? What's my news? It learns me. It learns you. X has become the ultimate free speech battlefield. And while Soros funds chaos through third parties, Elon Musk builds the tools and the platforms and speaks directly to the people. That's power. It's transformational. Do you understand? Nothing. Edison, who? Alexander Graham Bell was who was it? It was the Italian dude, not Marconi. But in any event. Which brings us to the Hollow Theater. That was the recent hands-off rally. I can't say enough about that. Do you hear what I'm saying? I can't. What a spectacular waste of time and effort. Dear God. Not a single major celebrity, no youth presence, no real energy, just a parade of masked, nameless, hoodie-wearing NPCs, as Mrs. L calls them, the bunch of Ben and Jerry rejects, marching in circles with pre-printed signs.
One said, we wanted cheaper eggs, you gave us measles.
What? We wanted cheaper eggs.
Cheaper eggs, you gave us measles.
Who, Trump gave up measles? Yeah. And by the way, where's the egg prices? Prices. That'd be a good neologism or truncation. Where is that? It's over with. It's done. It was so funny. There's this one woman says, I can't believe it. I got to go up next door to buy eggs on the QT from my neighbor, and I can walk into a store and buy pot. How times have changed. By the way, if you're smart, you'll stay off the eggs. That's all I'm going to tell you. That's all I'm going to tell you. If it's a free country, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I'm going to tell you, if you're smart. These people have no clue what they're protesting. Beyond, I guess, vague social media slogans like you gave them the measles or what. A glorified, it's like a social justice walking club. Remember the malls where they were all the old people walking around? If it's funny because I'm at this weird stage where I'm thinking, oh, there's a bunch of old white people, and I was talking to somebody and they're younger than me. I'm thinking, but they're so old. I don't know what the hell's the matter with them. I don't even know who these people are. I don't really like anybody. If George Soros had his hand in any of this, he should be asking for a refund. What was this? And they're all standing there. Here come the buses, handing out the protest. Okay, yay. One of my favorites, did you see the fellow with the retard meter? This is the funniest thing. It was this long, like a wand, and it said retard meter. And he would go up to people, I guess, and push a button, beep, 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 and it would go off. He would scan people, big sign, letters, retard meter. Yep, beep, 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 beep. And you can contrast all of that with Donald Trump, who continues to rack up victories without needing a rally every weekend. I'm sorry, you may not believe this, but nothing's changed regarding his popularity or what he's doing. Nothing. Nothing. They're making it sound like this is the end of the world. And while media pundits shriek and economists who never built a business claim he's destroying the country with tariffs, the truth is much simpler. No one understands tariffs or what the they're talking about or how they work. They don't. But voters are seeing results. Manufacturing is coming back. Domestic production is being talked about again. Do you think the world is going to sit back and say, well, we better watch out. Well, Trump's coming after us. And no, they're going to fight at every step of the way. Are you kidding me? Strategic goods are returning home. The elites can mock it all they want, but the working class feels it. This is incredible. Trump's tariff strategy is simple. Stop letting other countries exploit America's open markets while hammering us with their own protectionist measures. Anybody got a problem with it? It's called reciprocity. And I don't give a goddamn what Thomas Sowell or Milton Friedman or any of these people say. I don't care. And yes, it works. And the people screaming the loudest about tariffs are the same ones who signed off on endless wars, one-sided trade deals, the mass outsourcing of the American industry. Remember the first time they were going to shut down Keystone Pipeline? They were going to go. These people who sold everything, who basically offload, who, I'm not going to bring up Wuhan, but you know what they did. They're telling you anything. Remember the first week they shut down everything. We are sitting on coal. We can have clean coal and nuclear. I don't know what these people are talking about. They want to have wind and turbines. Oh, that's bullshit. They're so bad. We blew up Nord Stream 2. We blew it up. We blew it up. And if anything would have given Putin the okay to start a war, it would have been that. Don't you think? They had their shot and they failed and it's over. Now, Trump's doing it differently. And voters are taking notice. You can pay attention. Now, while Soros bets on breaking down borders and pushing, transnational policy, whatever the hell he's talking about, Trump is focused on restoring sovereignty. And Musk is the technological weapon that can tear through the bureaucracy. And together, they're a nightmare for the globalists. A nightmare. It's beautiful. It's beauteous. Now, let's talk future. MAGA is no longer a slogan. It's a doctrine. It's a new generation. A new generation of programming, if you will, that's rising, that doesn't care about playing nice with the media or obeying the fake rules that were, written down by a bunch of unelected think tanks. MAGA is mutating, if you want to talk about mutation, into something kind of leaner and younger and smarter. And you can enter the meme-fueled wave of what many are calling MAGA Doge. It's a truncation, if you will. It's a conflation. It's a portmanteau, so to speak. MAGA Doge. This isn't just red hats and rallies. This is digital warfare, crypto-fueled narrative control, and decentralized patriotism. Write that down. The future is going to be righteous, funny, and deeply rebellious. It's an America you've never seen before. Brand new. And are you ready to make drastic changes for the better? I am. America's ready. Citizens are ready. And no one believes the media anymore. Let me just say this. No one believes them. No one. It's changed. Understand to balance fundamentals with change. You will never change the acoustic guitar. You can mic it differently. You might want to process a little bit differently, but it's basically wood and strings, and that's it. And you can, that's one that you can throw into that electric and, that's fine too. But certain things are fundamental. But the rest of it also changes. The way we play it, the way we mic it, the way you can hear it. Different, it's a blend. And the technocratic left is collapsing under its own contradictions. See, they scream about democracy and then they silence the opposition. This is the thing I don't understand. They claim it to be pro-science. Have you noticed, yes or no? Have you noticed how we're able to talk about more? Have you noticed this? There are some people I'm walking, I'm saying, good. I want to see people talk about the way it was in 96 or whatever it was. I don't know, 97, 90. When Alex came along, when the internet was great, right around before 2001, before 9/11. Oh, it was great. Remember that? It was wonderful. Don't you notice how the people are talking about more? Candace Owens is really going really far. Good. M.R.O. Levon says, and the use of maggots is a very traditional method for the removal of gangrene from your system. Well, not so much gangrene. I'll tell you where maggots and parasites work, believe it or not. They work wonderfully for whenever you're debreeding tissue. Do they understand optics or don't care? I don't know. But you know what? Talking about maggots, and thank you for that. Whenever there was, not debreeding, but whenever dead tissue, around, it wasn't gangrene because gangrene is systemic, but around sutures and maggots ate off the dead skin or scabs, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's what they do. It's what they do. Maggots are also very important because in the case of, there was one particular case that Michael Biden talked about. They found a body in a tub, and this body in a tub was bloated, and there were maggots everywhere, flies everywhere. Anyway, so what they did was they wanted to do a tox sample, tox test, toxicology, and they couldn't because of the decomposition. But they took the maggots who had been consuming the body, put it into a blender, blended that up, and from that found out that the person died from barbiturates or whatever. Oh, it's an incredible thing. I remember as a kid reading about, I found this so interesting. They took raw meat. Remember, they put it in a jar and they put like, not cheesecloth, but like a net on top of it. And when the flies laid their pupa or whatever the particular name was, you could see where it came from. It was phenomenal. Just fascinating. All of that fascinates me to no end. This is something else I'm going to tell you about. I'm not going to go into detail, but I'm going to tell you. We had a friend in the family, and our friend was going through a very bad bout of diarrhea, which sounds very good, doesn't it? Diarrhea. And I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't. It is not a symptom, it is a reaction. It is doing something it's supposed to do. There's a reason for it. And it's not, people, of course, laugh about it, but it was, I didn't go into it because nobody cares about my particular sensibility. But things that fascinate me often disgust others. Ramona says, hi, Lionel Nation. The tub, like in Silence of the Lambs. Yep. Here's one for you. My friend was a rookie NYPD cop. I think I told you this one. They got a call to a house, a stinker, meaning somebody had died and was in the moment of putrescence and the like. And he looked inside and he go, ooh, and you could see his abdomen was distended. I mean, about to burst. And if anybody tried to move it or whatever, it would be. So my friend had the veteran, so to speak, turned to my friend, then the rookie, and said, give me your nightstick. So he handed him his nightstick, and they took rope, and they made a series of like lengths of a rope, tied it to the end of the nightstick. He opened the door. He swung it once, twice, and then threw it, closed the door. It hit the abdomen, and they heard this. And when they opened up the door, it was everywhere. Isn't that interesting? Tell you one more story, similar to that. Same thing had happened. Body decomposition. There was a dog that was there. The dog was, you'll never forget this story. As long as you live, you'll never forget this story. Let's tell you right now, it's not for the weak, so you might want to go elsewhere. But this is what he told me. These are New York City cops. The person had, abdomen had distended and bloated or blew up, popped, burst. The dog, which had no food at all, was actually consuming the contents of the abdomen, of the stomach. And when they came in, the dog's face, it was like a little polyp. It was red. I don't know what the dog was eating, but it was out of necessity. Last story. A friend, another cop, NYPD, there was a ride-along. And they don't really like this. The cops don't really care for ride-alongs, but he said, okay, go ahead. I think he had to do was a politician. Anyway, he went this ride-along. Anyway, they got a call. There was an accident, and they feared it could be a fatality. Kid on a bike, hit by a car. They said it's nasty. So he pulls up, and the cop tells his friend, listen, I want you to stay here. This is a kid. He goes, I want to see it. He says, no, this is not, you should. They say it's pretty messy, and we don't want you to see this. Because a lot of people say, oh, I want to see it, and then they see it, and they're traumatized for life. Even though you're an adult, you have no idea how horrible this can be. A collision, head-on on a bike, a kid? No. Come on. He goes, okay, you want to do it? Fine. And they walked up, and this kid was on his bike, and he was covered in what appeared to be just, this was red. They thought it was blood, and something like gooey, like white gooey. This is odd. Was it Duramatter? Was it some kind of interstitial? Who knows what it was? And this guy's looking at this kid in horror. And all of a sudden the kid kind of wakes up, looks down. There was a pizza box, and he says, my pie. My mother's going to kill me. He was fine. But it was the pizza. It was the mozzarella and the bread. Anyway, sees a happy ending. See? Now you're going to remember that. Listen to me. You're going to remember those three stories. The stick, the nightstick, the dog, and the pizza. You're going to tell people that story tomorrow. You're going to tell people that story, and they're going to say, ew. And it's a great story because you can see it. See, a good story is a story where you can see it. You can imagine it. It's wonderful. I did a show one time on smells. And the worst smell you could ever imagine. The worst smell. And this program director, complete idiot, said, why are you doing smells on radio? I said, you don't understand. It's the theater of the mind. It's the ability to think about something. Just to hear the story. And the one that I'll never forget was a fellow who said it just like this. Just like this. And it's not, I mean, you can obviously go for the cheap stuff. It smells like, no. The guy says, I'm a veterinarian. And I went to put down a horse. I love that expression. Hey, nag. Hey, sway back. Anyway, he said it was a vaginal tumor on a horse. And he said, I went, and it was like, I don't know, 10 feet, maybe less away. And it hit me. That's all he said. And he never described anything. He said, I've been through some rough stuff. But this it robbed your soul. I mean, it was the most beautiful. People were getting sick. And I was telling this idiot program director, don't you understand? They're describing a smell, but not like saying it smelled like garlic. No, they're talking about it was your soul, and you teared, and I couldn't, you trying to, it was the most, it's the storytelling. It's what your brain can do. And I do not know if AI or AGI will ever be able to associate. We'll get back to Musk, but we'll be able to associate the words with the horror. You see what I'm saying to you? The words with the horror. It's interesting. There's something about the smell of blood, minerally. It's weird, like a somebody explained it as like a copper penny, or sometimes spring. There's a mineral metallic part to it, which is interesting. I'll never forget something which I'm going to tell you right now, which I think was the most fascinating thing ever. You never forget olfactory, and you're probably wondering, how did we get to this? How did we get to this? Because I want to go there. Lionel wants to go there. One night I was in a men's room, and there was a fellow who was in the men's room, and he there was some, I don't know precisely what it was, but I walked in and it looked like he was like almost unclothed. I thought, oh, this is odd. I don't know what this is about. But I nonetheless walked in, and it turns out he had, I don't know if it was a colostomy or ileostomy, but he was obviously doing something had gone wrong. Something had shifted. I didn't look at him. I just kept going. He's obviously embarrassed. He almost was, I think, completely nude because he was trying to change his clothes or whatever it was. I will never forget the smell. Now, let me say something to you. Before E. coli, bacteria, flora, gut biomes, before that, when it was just hydrochloric acid and digestion, before the telltale feculence, okay, it was the most unique smell. It wasn't bad at all. I mean, at all. It was like industrial. You'll never forget it as long as you live. A friend of mine was I think still is, a surgeon, nicking a bowel. He told me one time the smell of when a baby is born during a cesarean, the smell of the placenta, of blood. See, this to me is, they're beautiful smells, and we lose it. I know you're wondering, how did we get? I don't know. I'm not done yet. Before it rains, before it snows, the smell of sheets that were on a line, the smell of a baby, the baby's that skin that just they never stink or sweat. The smell of old, the smell of death, the smell of, how about roses? How about the smell of flower water, well, like a bouquet where the water is kind of been there? It takes on a kind of a death smell. Fishing, tire, and then tires. There's so much of smells. Smells fascinate me. The smell of, I remember the smell of 9/11 after it happened for weeks or so, of the whatever it was, the metallic, the burn. I always used to, it never left. If you're in an elevator, you think it's the elevator. It permeates everything. It was everywhere you went, was this smell that came from downtown. Be aware of your feelings. Be aware. When I mean feelings, not your emotional feelings, your senses, your feel, your touch. aches, pains, little things. Just be very aware of everything. And smell is one of the greatest indicators of everything. It's the very first thing that the mammalian, critter, it was important. Smells fascinate me. And there's no such thing as a good or a bad smell. Bacteria have no intent. And why things smell good, I don't know why. Why baking bread is so wonderful. Why garlic and oil, I don't know. The smell of a tire store, certain things, paint. You see, I want you to listen to me. You'll learn from me. I want you to notice things all around you. Like our good friend Lola Renee. Thank you, Lola Renee. Andrew Hessing says, I'm not L or right, but I am MAGA. I left Fox a long time ago, not for things like the raccoon focus with Harris, but what does that mean? But due to the omission reporting. Let's eat lunch. Thank you, Pilgrim. Always bringing it full circle. Thank you. Ramona says, my husband worked the wagon as, Chicago cop. He picked up a body where the guy had literally coughed up his lung. It was laying on the floor next to him. You see that? And he'll never forget that. Thank you for that. I recall some possible photos from, Bruce Kimball. Thank you so much. The smell of iron before rain. Ooh. These are things which are important. You must always appreciate your sense of everything. Listen and notice things. Notice what's different. Mothers can tell the sound of their baby crying among babies crying. That's also hypothalamus, very, very unique. But as I was saying, my friends, regarding this, the radical left, they're so over. They cry about transparency. Remember that? They shadow ban half of the country, half of the world. They shut you down. I don't understand what this is about. The American people are tuning out, turning inward, towards strength, toward accountability, towards leaders who build things, not just talk. Elon Musk is not running for office. It's not what he does. And maybe what he's doing is perhaps pulled and part of his megalomaniacal, I don't know what you want to call it. But if he ever does decide to throw his full weight of his infrastructure and wealth and digital command into American politics, George Soros and his open society would be steamrolled. Open society? Soros can't meme. Musk can. Soros funds ideologues. Musk funds and produces engineers. Soros hides in the networks. He's like a bacterium. Musk posts in the open. See, that's the difference. It's a different mentality. See, Trump is already back. He's stronger. He's sharper. He's got a crystal clear laser agenda. Musk is lurking just outside the field of direct engagement, just a little bit, holding the most powerful levels of communication and innovation. And a lot of us are saying, is he in? Is he out? And you say this. He loves, it's professional wrestling. It's the greatest. If they align, if they move, the entire machinery of legacy in power in DC and Brussels and Davos, and it's done. It's finished. This is I can't. It's like being able to say on that night in 1964 when you saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, you say it just changed. You don't know what you're seeing here. It just changed. So yeah, Elon Musk will crush George Soros in the long game because he doesn't need to pull strings in the dark. He could just flip the switch, turn on the light, says, see? That changes everything. See, that's the beauty of this. And I love the notion of change. I love the notion of change. And think about what we've done. Think about these moments. Think about what even us at our levels, we meet and we interact. See, this is the thing which is the most important. I like the ability, and I'm still trying to figure this out. I like the ability to know that this is happening. It's live. You're here. I'm here. It's appointment in many respects, but we get to speak to each other. That's why the whole talk radio thing is still there's something that it does. There's something that it does that I'm still trying to bring it here. And what it does is callers. And I want you to pay attention. Everybody in talk radio hates callers. You never hear it. I mean, you really, Rush, I don't think ever took call. Maybe he did, sort of. I don't know. Trying to think. I didn't really listen a lot to him, but I don't think he did. Sometimes there's this idea about communication. You see, when you read something, it's already been read, and you're reading it after the fact. That's it. It's you and it, and that's it. And then maybe you'll talk about it. Television is a little bit different. But the idea of being able to communicate back, to comment as it is happening, is just where that becomes part of the performative aspect as well. This is it. Now, I want you to understand something. You are never, ever, 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 ever going to hear anyone from the left, from the media, ever say anything that is remotely complimentary of President Trump. Pilgrim says, I know you saw the vehicular homicide photo packs. Oh, yes. Those were still those were, I think, the most, those are the ones that surprised me in terms of how incredible how much damage can be done. A lot of shootings are for the most part, other than head stuff, it's far less, explosive than you would think. That was a different story. Now, when I tell you this, I want you to understand. Nobody is going to say anything that benefits the president. Nobody is going to say anything that in any way, in any wise, in any form benefits or is complimentary to the president. None. So you understand something. So just remember, why would you want to read the reviews of a restaurant? We used to have Amy, not Sheridan, what was her name? Sheridan. We had Ruth Reichel. We had all these people who would, they would write about restaurants or whatever it was. But what if you had a reviewer who always hated everything? Everything they hated. Would you read it? No. No, you wouldn't. Coast to Coast always had interesting callers. Oh, soul. Coast to Coast, I listen to old Art Bell stuff now because of the sounds of those people late at night. And George Noory just didn't, but Art Bell, And in the old days, Gene Shepard did it and others as well. It was a different kind of a concept. It was a different thing. But when people are communicating, though, think about this. If everything I told you was always negative, sometimes it's a little bit different because sometimes people want to hear me say negative things about the left. So you might enjoy that, especially if I trash somebody. And I appreciate that. But then again, if everything's always great about Trump, I don't listen to that either. I want somebody to tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. And oftentimes I will tell you, there are some things where, if you ask me, I wouldn't have done that. But that doesn't mean that what the president did was that wrong or bad or awful. It just means I would do things differently. See, my version of this is I am far more brutal. I would have a division in my, almost like the secret police, without a real secret police, but it would be the political arm of this. And I would be doing things far differently. And I've told you the thing which is the most important is the fact that the president should have on his desk a camera or something that he can activate anytime he wants. Do you hear what I'm saying? Anytime he wants. That's the most important thing. Now, let me also tell you one thing about this, and I will say this specifically regarding the tariffs and all of this stuff. Food, I do not know. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know what they've got planned, but I'm telling you right now, if you ever thought that food and preparations maintain a degree of stability, you are out of your mind. Just listen to this. Let me ask you a question. What happens when the trucks stop? Think about this. Trucks, the trucks that bring your food, and then when one store closes because of a riot or ransomware hit or a hurricane or even manufactured weather. Oh yeah, we've talked about that. What happens when all of a sudden, suddenly the entire supply chain collapses like dominoes? What happens then? We've seen it happen, and it doesn't take much. And that's the thing you've got to think about. A trucker strike, a cyber attack, some EMP, some Carrington class disaster, a city shut down by violence. It only takes one spark for shelves to go empty fast. And when that happens, and when that moment hits, you either have what you need or you don't. And that's why I am telling you, I want you to go to preparewithlionel.com. Our trusted friends at My Patriot Supply, they're offering unbelievable deals right now. You've got to see deals on emergency food kits that could save your life and your sanity. Over 2,000 calories per day for 3 months of food per person, shelf stable for 25 years in any kind of combinations you want, and made to taste like actual meals, not cardboard, not some military MRE. These kits aren't just insurance, they're peace of mind. So go to preparewithlionel.com, secure your kit, secure your future. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com, because when the world breaks down, the prepared don't panic. We have a friend of ours who is, I think, rather, typical, kind of an anti-Trumper. And she never can tell us why. Isn't that something? You probably know these people too. She never can tell us why. Tell me why. If I told you, give me 10 reasons why you don't like Biden, Kamala, or the left, you would be able to do it easily. You would be able to write down ad seriatim, a veritable adumbration, a list, a potpourri, a melange, a myriad, a mosaic, a recipe, a slumgullion, a pastiche of everything. You wouldn't write down because he sucks or he's a fascist. You would say, because of this, you got crime, education, taxes, China. And it's now Elon Musk versus Soros. This is this battle of influence that is so perfect. And I keep saying, in this world gone nuts with globalist games and this, media manipulations are part of it, Elon Musk still is emerged as something. What is left? What can he do next? He's the anti-Soros, and you've got to expose Soros. And let's be clear, that's a win for America. This isn't just about him. Elon is this, again, think about what he's doing. Can you think of anyone, this unapologetic innovator, this guy who talks about free speech, who talks about Social Security, from Neuralink to SpaceX to, I mean, it's incredible. And I think probably the most important is to be a free speech absolutist. He's not just a billionaire. He's beyond everything. He's the tech elite like you can't believe. And he's something far more dangerous to the ruling class. And this is what they don't understand. He builds stuff. I can't say this enough. He builds stuff who answers to no one but the truth. And all he had to do most of the time, like Jeff Bezos doesn't do shit. He's going to marry that troglodyte or that transhumanistic, whatever that thing is, that cyborg. He's going to go on his boat. He didn't do anything. Zuckerberg didn't do anything. He was just their little play. Because remember, they created Zuckerberg out of nowhere. He doesn't do anything. All they do is he does his Facebook and he futzes around with this. Tim Cook with Apple. Musk is a different story. And let's get one thing straight, though. George Soros isn't some mastermind kingmaker. He doesn't make anything. See, the media prop him up to be this untouchable, but dig into the details, and you find this really shadowy guy, this financier who's I guess you'd call it his influence or something, relies on, again, let me say this again, nonprofit laundromats, NGO mouthpieces, taxpayer-backed grants, that USAID stuff. Remember, he doesn't create, he manipulates. And he doesn't inspire. He does nothing but act as the evil. He is like the archetypical, whatever you want to call it, corollary to Klaus Schwab. And he has no philanthropy. The philanthropy is bullshit. It's about globalist leverage. This Open Society Foundation, it's one of the biggest jokes in the world. It's not about freedom. I'm telling you, it's about, I'm saying it again, reshaping borders, destroying borders, undermining our national sovereignty and the world's, shorting the dollar, shorting the pound, pushing this radical ideology. And through that creepy, weird son of his and a cat who looks exactly like the chick who stuck the microphone in president's mouth. Remember that one? Where's she? Because we forget after 3 days. From DA races that he supposedly funds to push these people. I mean, it's just this tangled kind of a spider web of suspicious influence peddling, and it's dressed up as some kind of charity. Look, Elon Musk is not perfect. I don't know about his morals or his family, if he uses drugs, or I don't know anything about that. I swear to God I don't. But he owns kind of the tools and the apparatus of a new era. And he doesn't need to be, to play cloak and dagger, with foreign foundations. I'm going to say this again. X, Starlink, Neuralink, SpaceX, the global stage. And he doesn't whisper around these people. He's so out there. He tweets in the light. Look, he's on our side. Understand this. Everybody, what do they have? Whom do they have? There was nobody from Hollywood that was there. The last vestige is this twit, George Clooney. I'm telling you, they're going to give him that Tony Award because they promised him. And they said, listen, if you do this, you help us out because we own you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, let me ask you something. Without naming names, you do know that there are a lot of people in Hollywood that if they ever came out of the closet, it would destroy their career. You do know that, right? There's this weird phenomenon. Remember Rupert, what was his name? Rupert Elliott or Everett? Rupert Everett? Oh, Holmes? No, Rupert Holmes did,
Rupert Everett.
yeah, Rupert Holmes did, My Name Is, Rupert Holmes said pina colada. Anyway, Rupert Everett was something about Mary or whatever it was. I don't know what the hell. Who knows? But this was a guy who, when they came out, he said, "Well, I'm an actor, but I'm gay." Well, that was it. That was it. He said, "But I'm an actor. I don't care." Women didn't buy it. Men didn't buy it. Now, if a woman is sapphic, as we say, that's a different story. Who cares? If you found out that Sharon Stone were a lesbian, I mean, it wouldn't matter. I mean, especially now because she has no career. But the point is, it's weird. So they fight it. Same thing with people in sports. Oh, don't you think that if you're some sports marketer and you got some guy who's coming in there, they will check your ass out, figuratively, literally, because I don't know, especially if you're trying to push, let's say, golf stuff. See, John Daly and those guys, he loves to be smoke them cigarettes and drink that beer and all that. But if you found out John Daly was gay, so what I'm saying is there's a lot of this Epstein-like kind of extortion that other people do as well. Now, I'm not naming any names. Don't get me wrong. I know what you're thinking. But they make deals with people. You're going to do what we say. And you are going to, if you want to enjoy this, George Clooney, you're going to do everything that we say. And then in return, we'll give you your Tony. Of course, it won't mean anything because it's half-assed and whatever it is. But he'll feel like I did it. There was a talk about him and Brad Pitt with the Oscar. This might have already been in the pipeline. This is done. This is already done. This connection, this power that they had, that the shadow government had, deep state, they don't have it anymore. Why? Because of Elon. So keep that in mind, my friends. Keep that in mind very, very, very carefully. Soul 76, I dig you, bro. Pilgrim Media, you are without a doubt a rapier wit without peer. And I mean that sincerely. Make the dream great again. Thank you. Let me see. Ramona, thank you, dear heart. Andrew Hessing, Lola Renee, thank you. And MRO Lavon, thank you. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. And later on, we have a brand new, a great interview that's coming up where she and I did. It's terrific. That's coming up. In any event, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Thank you so much. Remember to ensure that you are subscribed to Lionel Nation, which is always critical, and like this video. Until then, my friends, remember the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.